There are financial products out there that aren't designed to help you. They are engineered to keep you broke, not by accident, by pure behavioral design. The corporations that created them spent decades studying human psychology, behavioral economics, and, above all, desperation. They built traps so sophisticated that millions of people fall into them every single day, while actually thanking them for the favor. In the next 10 minutes, we are going to dismantle this entire system. You will see exactly how they work, who they hunt, and how to deactivate them. By the end of this video, you will be completely immune to them. Let's turn on the lights. How debt traps are designed. Before we expose the specific traps, you need to understand one thing. Predatory debt is a multi-billion-dollar business. These aren't glitches in the system. They are the system. Every predatory financial product shares the exact same DNA. 1. They target people who are exactly one medical or car emergency away from panic. 2. They eliminate the immediate financial pain, giving you the cash right now. And 3. They multiply the long-term damage exponentially. And the worst part? It is 100% legal. The perfect trap never looks like a trap. At first glance, it always looks like a lifeline. Let's start with the absolute apex predator of the financial world. Payday loans, the apex predator. This is the king of toxic debt. The great white shark of personal finance. The trick behind a payday loan is beautifully simple. You need $500 to survive until your next paycheck. They give it to you instantly. No credit check. No questions asked. They just charge you a small flat fee of $75. Sounds reasonable, right? Let's do the real math. Paying a $75 fee to borrow $500 for 2 weeks translates to an annual percentage rate, or APR, of roughly 400%. For context, a high-interest credit card charges around 24%. This is legalized usury, but the real trap is the rollover loop. Because the average borrower cannot repay the full $575 in 14 days, they pay another fee to delay it. The average payday loan customer spends 5 months of the year trapped in this cycle, paying $520 in pure fees, just to cover an original $375 loan. You didn't borrow money? You rented it at an astronomical cost. The escape plan. If you are in a tight spot, almost anything is better. A payroll advance from your employer, selling unused items online, or borrowing from a local credit union. Avoid this predator at all costs. Credit card minimum payments. The silent killer. This trap is sinister because it makes you feel responsible, while it quietly bleeds you dry. Imagine you have a $5,000 balance on your credit card at a 24% interest rate. The bank generously tells you that your minimum payment this month is just $100. You pay it, on time, every month. You feel like a functional adult. But here is what the bank buries in the fine print. By paying only the minimum, it will take you over 20 years to wipe out that balance. By the time you're done, you will have paid $7,000 extra, just in interest. Your $5,000 purchase ended up costing you $12,000 in cold, hard cash. The minimum payment was never calculated to help you get out of debt. It was mathematically engineered to keep you in it for life, maximizing the bank's profits. The escape plan: break the illusion. If you increase that payment from $100 to $250 a month, you kill the debt in 2 years instead of 20, saving yourself over $6,000 in the process. Use the avalanche method. Pay the minimum on everything and throw every extra dollar at the card with the highest interest rate. Buy now, pay later. The Trojan horse. Buy now, pay later is the modern debt trap designed specifically for millennials and Gen Z. And it's dangerous because it doesn't even feel like debt. It feels like splitting a dinner bill. You see a pair of $200 sneakers, and the app offers to let you pay $50 every 2 weeks. 0 interest if you pay on time. Where's the catch? It's in your brain. Studies show that human beings experience actual psychological pain when parting with cash up front. Buy now, pay later completely destroys that friction. By slicing the price into tiny pieces, your brain lowers its guard, causing users to spend 30 to 50% more than they originally planned. The average user doesn't have one of these loans active. They have 4 running simultaneously, miss a single payment, and hidden late fees trigger instantly. Worse, these platforms are now reporting to credit bureaus, meaning a missed payment on a pair of jeans can tank your credit score just like missing a mortgage payment. The escape plan, a golden financial rule. If you can't afford to pay for it in full today, you can't afford it. Full stop. Car loans, the wealth destroyer. A standard car is not an investment. It's a depreciating asset that loses 15% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. By year 5, it's worth half of what you paid. When you pair that reality with an 8% interest rate on a 72-month loan, which has tragically become the industry standard, you are signing your financial death warrant. Dealerships don't sell cars anymore. They sell monthly payments. They tell you it's only $450 a month. It sounds manageable until you realize that in year 4, you are still paying $450 a month for a vehicle that is worth a third of what you signed for. You end up underwater, meaning you owe more on the loan than the car is actually worth. The escape plan: never use a vehicle to impress people you don't even like. Buy used, pay cash if you can, and if you must finance, use the 20-4-10 rule. Put 20% down, limit the term to 4 years maximum, and keep the payment under 10% of your take-home pay. The student loan deferral loop. Education is invaluable, but the way it's financed can be a life sentence. The real trap here isn't the original loan, it's the seductive option called deferral. When you hit a rough patch financially and ask to pause your payments, the lender smiles and says, "No problem, take 2 years off." What they leave out of the conversation is that the interest never takes a vacation. The interest keeps accumulating in the dark. When the deferral period ends, that mountain of unpaid interest is added directly to your original balance. This is called capitalization. If you owed $30,000 and accumulated $5,000 in interest during the pause, your new principal balance is $35,000. You are now paying interest on top of interest. It's a mathematical black hole that is almost impossible to escape. The escape plan: avoid total deferral unless it is an absolute matter of survival. Instead, always opt for income-driven repayment plans. These plans scale your payment based on what you actually earn and often freeze the interest growth while you get back on your feet. Rent-to-own, the hidden markup. Rent-to-own stores offer to let you take home a 75-inch TV or a gaming laptop today for just $25 a week. It is engineered specifically for people who don't have access to traditional credit cards or savings. It is predatory to its core. A laptop that retails for $500 anywhere else will end up costing you $1,300 if you pay $25 a week for a year. That is a hidden interest rate of over 100%. And remember, you do not own that item until you make the very last payment. If you slip up on week 50, they will knock on your door, repossess the laptop, and you lose every single dollar you already paid. The escape plan: do not rent technology or furniture. If cash is tight, look for refurbished tech on secondary marketplaces. You get 90% of the utility for 20% of the cost. Medical debt, the involuntary trap. Unlike shoes or cars, nobody chooses to have a medical emergency. This trap strikes when you are at your absolute weakest. The fatal mistake happens after you get discharged. Out of fear, stress, or sheer confusion, people toss hospital bills into a drawer, assuming insurance will eventually figure it out. When you ignore them, the hospital sells that debt to ruthless collection agencies for pennies on the dollar. That's when the nightmare begins. Endless harassment calls, ruined credit scores, and potential lawsuits. The escape plan: never ignore a hospital. Medical debt is the most negotiable debt on the planet. Call the billing department on day 1 and ask for an itemized bill. The total balance often plummets immediately just by asking for this, as they remove duplicate or inflated charges. Then ask for their financial hardship program. Almost every hospital has a charity fund that will drastically reduce or completely wipe out your debt if you can prove a low income. The universal deactivation plan. It doesn't matter how many of these traps have closed around you. The mechanism to break free is always the same. Follow these 5 steps. Step 1. Drag the monsters into the light. List every single debt on a spreadsheet or a piece of paper, the balance, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. You cannot defeat an enemy you are too afraid to look at. Step 2. Stop the bleeding. Put the credit cards in a drawer and delete the apps today. Stop digging the hole deeper. Step 3. Attack with strategy. Use the avalanche method. Put every single extra dollar toward your apex predator, the payday loan or the card with an interest rate north of 20%. The car or student loans can wait on minimums while you kill the most lethal interest rates first. Step 4. Negotiate without shame. Call your creditors. Tell them, I want to pay you, but I cannot survive under this interest rate. Do you have a hardship program? You'd be surprised. They would much rather get their money back slowly than see you declare bankruptcy and get absolutely nothing. And step 5. Build a $1,000 firewall. Before you start throwing massive amounts of cash at your debt, save a $1,000 emergency fund. That fund is the shield that breaks the cycle, ensuring you don't fall right back into a debt trap the next time your car breaks down or you need to see a doctor. Learning how to stop losing money is step number 1. Step number 2 is learning how to multiply it. That is why next week we are going to look at and rank every single investment asset class from worst to best, showing you exactly where the ultra-wealthy actually park their cash. And spoiler alert, it is not where you've been led to believe. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. Drop a like if this video brought you value. It signals the algorithm to push this content to someone who might desperately need it to break free. See you in the next one.